Welcome to Chatterbox Quilts. I'm Kim Jamison Hurst. Today I'm working with my Singer 201-3 machine. It's a great machine to use for free motion quilting, and that's what I intend to do today. But originally, when these machines were first issued many years ago, people would use them usually for making clothing. And so when you're making clothing, you have different pieces you put together. So if you're going to put a collar on a shirt, or if you're going to put a set-in sleeve in, you have to put two pieces of fabric together and you want to keep them together. So what are you using? Well, you're using straight pins, of course. So you would pin your fabrics together and then run them through the machine as you stitch. Now, sometimes those pins might have gotten stuck or come out a bit, or they're underneath rubbing against the bed of the machine. And on these machines, they have this gorgeous black shiny coat on them. You would get these little pin marks. You'll see these on older machines, either scratches or little pin marks on them, and that would be from running fabrics through with pins in them. Sometimes you'll even see them on the top here because they would sometimes have a pin cushion kind of thing that would go around these, and if you missed, you'd hit the machine and damage it. So nowadays, I'm not sewing clothing, I'm sewing quilts, and so I would take my quilts and I would pin baste them together, and then I run them through the machine. Now, when I'm doing this, I also am using pins, obviously, different kind of pins, quilting pins, but they also have the tendency to rub against the bed of the machine, and sometimes they, if you get stuck somehow or other, they open, and then they can actually jab right into the bed of the machine. So again, you might get some of those scratches or marks on there, and you really don't want to do any more damage to these machines than what's already been done to them. So how can you avoid that? Well, I have a multi-purpose quilt spray that I've made up, and I'll put a link in the video so you can go look at how to make that yourself. I've got a few videos on it and what you can do with it, but one of the things you can do with it is use it for a temporary basting spray. So that works out really well. So instead of having to use the pins to baste my projects before I quilt them, you can just spray it on your fabric, make your sandwich as you usually do, and then when you're going along in free motion quilting, you don't have to worry about any of those pins coming open and scratching and adding more damage to your sewing machine. The other thing that's kind of nice when you're using it in that aspect is that you don't have to stop and open up and take out those quilting pins as you go along. You can just keep going through the project, just move it along as you need to. So I'm finding that this is another use for the multi-purpose quilt spray, is to use it when I'm quilting on my vintage sewing machines.